the Sticky Trifle Podcast. Welcome to the Sticky Trifle Podcast.
And welcome to the Sticky Trifle Podcast. And we're back at the location for it all began, for our first ever podcast began. Fraserburgh, or Broch Beach as Abdi calls it, or some folk is even posh enough to call it the Esplanade. And somewhere here, our guest is waiting. Some of you'll ken exactly what it is, and some of yous ken exactly how good he is with that amazing memory he's got, photographic memory. Just hope he behaves himself, because if he's had a drink, I want to get him to stop speaking. I'm actually wondering if he looks in the mirror sometimes and speaks to himself. You just never know. Do you enjoy going through this tunnel, or is it just me? Because I like it.
Sticky Trifle Podcast.
And I've got you now. Welcome once again to the Sticky Trifle Podcast.
Thank you.
And it's number 5th appearance for Mervyn Rose.
Aye, quite possibly.
And I'll tell you, there's a lot of folk like you. I think they like you better than me. You can, I'm starting to realise there's a lot of folk like you, Mervyn.
But most people didn't like all monies.
But you're not all money, you're still young at heart.
I'm still in all money though.
Now listen, before we get started, because the last time we was at Witherspoons,
Aye.
I mind that you enjoyed your drink doing it with Witherspoons the last time.
Cheers.
Did you?
Yes,
and,
I did.
Today,
good health.
We're going to be drinking this Tiger beer.
Tiger beer. I've tasted it before. It's Asian lager.
Asian lager.
That's right. Tiger beer.
How you find that, by the way?
It's alright, there's nothing wrong with it. Like my uncle used to say, Herald, there's not such a thing as bad beer, there's only some that's better than others.
Aye, so every beer nowadays
every beer's good, that's right.
Now we've got a stunning day, so we've come to the beach, Mervyn.
That's right, the beach, and it's a bonny day, it's lovely, sunny.
You can hear seagulls.
Right. Seagulls.
Seagulls.
They drive me nuts, and a lot of other folk nuts.
So
there's millions of them.
You didn't like seagulls?
No, I don't like them at all.
So are they pests?
Well, to me they're just a pest, but they're a protected bird. And the most common gull we get here is the herring gull.
The herring gull?
The herring gull.
Right,
and it's grey wings, white chest, yellow beak and red tip on it. And they're so prolific, the breed round here so prolifically, there's millions of the things. But they're protected by the government, so you can't go out and kill them. So they might make a mess in people's cars, people's windows, people's washing. They're nothing but a menace.
They actually remind me on a prehistoric. They're like a prehistoric kind of.
Well,
is that a pterodactyl? You can't.
A pterodactyl.
A pterodactyl.
And it's a real pity that they weren't there then, because they wouldn't be here now.
Yep.
And we wouldn't be bothered with them.
So
and
you're not a fan of the seagulls?
No, not at all. So they're very intelligent birds, and they live. Some of them live till they're 20 year old.
So that's why we get problems with them, because they live so long.
No, it's because folk are doing food and feeding them and encouraging them to be land-based as opposed to being in the sea, because that's because they've got webbed feet, so they're swimming birds. Again, they're used to the sea water. Again.
So you're a fan of birds. Do you ken a lot about birds?
I ken quite a lot about birds, aye. And the European seagull, the common gull, like it's called a lot, is probably the most prolific. Like I've said, the most prolific breeder of the gull family. But there's different names. There's a black-headed gull. There's a Galicious gull. There's the lesser black-backed gull, and there's the greater black-backed gull. And it shouldn't be called a greater black-backed gull. It's called the great black-backed gull. Is the word I'm trying to say.
The black-backed
gull. They're huge animals. They've got a wingspan of about 5 feet.
Wow.
And they're big, and they're predators, and only thing they'll eat, just about any kind of food at all, if they can swallow it, they will catch it and eat it. But there's not so many of them. Like I said, it's the herring gull. It's the problem in the Broch, and the Broch, and not just the Broch, but in a lot of the towns round about here.
I'll tell you what bird I like. Have you seen a little blackie? I think it's a Swifts or a...
The Swifts. I'll come to them in a minute. Okay, we'll speak about them. The herring gull is called Larus argentatus, and the black-backed gull is Larus marinmus, and they're the one extreme to the other. Again.
Yep.
And they're nothing but a pest. Now you also mentioned just new swifts.
Aye, swifts.
Now they're insect-eating birds that migrate here every year.
They usually get on top of the houses, don't they?
They usually breed and make nests up in the eaves of houses, so they can, because when they leave a nest, they've only got one chance at it, and if they can't fly, they're dead.
Right. Okay, I got
you. When they're weaned, and they're a fascinating bird.
And are they're UK? They're originated from UK?
No, not necessarily. They come here just for 3 months in the summertime to breed and bring their young up, and then they fly away back again to South Africa.
South Africa?
Yes. Yes, they'll breed here, and maybe a young bird that's born here, we'll say this year, it'll come back here next year. It'll never touch the ground or anything at all. It'll just fly around about in the sky.
Hold on, but how do they market all the way to South Africa if they're going by? Would they stop for breaks?
No, they keep flying all the time because they can't land on the way. Because if they land on the ground, for example, they can't get back off the ground because their legs are evolved into being more or less useless. But their wings and their ability to fly is second to none, and that's why one of the reasons I'm fascinated by them.
And how did you say? So, how long would that journey take them?
Well, it's been known that in 5 days, one of them flew 3,100 miles in 5 days.
Wow, because it was tagged or something?
I was tagged, and must have been some kind of equipment on it. Scientists monitored it, and to me, that's an amazing feat across the world, especially if it was only born a couple of months beforehand. How does it ken far to go? You can?
Yep.
It's an amazing feat of nature.
I feel sorry for like the swans, because they do a journey and there's folks shoot them sometimes, is that?
Well, the swans are not allowed to shoot them because they are protected birds, the same as the herring gull is a protected bird.
Yep.
And if you shoot them, and if you give them any harm, you can finish up in court. It's a serious charge.
But I presume there's a lot of folk get off with...
I didn't ken. I wouldn't want to ken about it because I think it's horrible.
So far do you go and view birds around this area or something?
Aye, I do, but I'm not one of these twitchers that are going out with binoculars looking over hedges and stuff like that to find something in a field or something like that. I didn't do that, but I'm still awfully interested in birds again. Only kind of wildlife really. And speaking about birds, the swift is a special bird to me. It can live till it's 20-year-old. And it crosses the world several times, and it covers, well nobody really can so far it covers in distance. It's monumental distances. They feed on the wing, they sleep on the wing, they gather nest materials that's blown about on the wing, and they mate on the wing. And at night they'll travel up to about 10,000 feet, and they glide round and rest up before they carry on with their journey.
Right, okay.
So they're amazing creatures. And another amazing creature, you're speaking about birds, is the hummingbird.
It's mine, it's small, is it?
It's a small bird. The only way is sometimes a gram or two. You can just a tiny little bird. There's hundreds of different kinds of them, and a lot of them are located in America and also doing in South America. And they breed there, and they get their nectar out of flowers again. And they're the only bird in the world that can fly forward and backwards and upside down.
So they can gravitate only way they want.
Yes, they're amazing creatures.
Wow.
Amazing little creatures. The hummingbird.
And do you get them here?
No, we don't get them here because it's not warm enough here.
And so your fascination with the hummingbird, how did this begin? How do you hear about us birds?
Well, I'll tell you how I can. Because I've been fascinated by wildlife, and there was an old man used to live up in the Faithley home, and he was called Norman Fordyce, and he was a well-kent broch man. Really,
listen, you took him on a radio show 18 years ago.
That's correct, yes.
Years ago.
Yes, that's right.
Norman Fordyce, and he was 98 at the time.
That's right, and he lived till he was just short of 102.
And I mean, he sung a Scottish song. He liked singing, didn't he?
He was very much into Scottish music, and he sung a song, I can't remember if it was on the radio, and recited poetry as far as I mean.
And so how did you ken Norman Fordyce?
Well, I'll tell you exactly how I kenned him. He used to do the nature notes in the Herald. He did it for years.
The Fraserburgh Herald?
Fraserburgh Herald, and lots of folk, not just me, but heaps of other folk, supplied Norman with information about something they'd seen. And Norman made it into a story and published it in the Herald, which was good, something for folk to read. And as I say, there was heaps of folk apart from myself. It did that and gave him information. But one of the most important things that I ever saw was just along the road here, on the main road here, as we're going past.
Yep.
There was a gate along the road there, which led into part of the toolworks ground, which has been demolished and Dinawawi long ago. But I was doing there for a walk with my dog one night, and it was in the early 1990s. The dog was middle-aged at the time, which would be about right for age. And we would come past Tesco's, which wasn't there. It was just gorse bushes and rough ground. And there was a cat run across the road, so the dog, he perked up when he seen a cat. So I said to him, come on, we'll cross the road. So we crossed the road with him towards this gate. Now the cat run underneath the gate. And I thought that would be it. We wouldn't see the cat again. So once the cat run underneath the gate, the dog was sniffing and looking through the fence, through the wire of the gate. And all of a sudden, the cat turned and come back, and it sprang at the gate, and it had great big fangs. Hold
on, so was that a cat?
It was a cat. It was a hybrid of some kind.
Like a wild cat?
Or like a wild cat bred with a lynx, or I don't care what it was bred with. I've got no idea. It was light coloured underneath, and the back of the cat was brown, and it was vicious.
Wow.
And the dog sort of was taken aback when he saw this thing. So I went up to Norman, and he made up a story for the Herald with me seeing the cat. And then other folk came forward saying they'd seen it as well. And it was here for quite a while, because I used to go through the grass opposite Curtin Cemetery with the dog for a couple of weeks after it was here. And we were finding remnants of rabbits and places for something big.
So this thing was hunting things around about
yes,
the area?
Yes, it was. Then it must have moved on or been killed. I've really no idea.
Wow.
Again.
So you think it was some kind of? It wasn't a.
It was some kind of hybrid or a feline species, which is a cat family. And I've got no idea for it.
Would it have attacked you if the dog hadn't been there? You think?
If you cornered it, it would. Otherwise, it would run away. If you corner something like that, and it would attack somebody.
I think I mind that story. It went in the Herald years ago, and it was like.
I was in the Herald. That's right.
There was no photos, was there?
No, there was no photographs. No, none at all. No photographs. Yeah.
And so you've never seen anything again since that occurrence?
No, I've never ever seen it again. I've never seen another animal like that either again. It was sort of one-off again. I just happened to be in the right place at the right time. Or I could have been in the wrong place at the wrong time. That would have been even worse.
You're still here in a Herald. Do you read the Herald? The Fraserburgh Herald?
I stopped buying papers years ago. And,
so you're not a fan of reading media stuff in the papers, no?
No, I'm a fan of. A lot of the media is maybe right, but I don't agree with it all, and so therefore I just read on the internet if I want to read.
I'm the same. like years ago, I used to check a Herald, or my mum and dad would hate at the time, but nowadays, I didn't see kids what's going on.
I get what you mean.
But I feel like nowadays, is technology kind of marked us move on, for we kind of news before the paper said.
That's right. So I think
folks shares videos and stuff.
So I think that technology has moved on, isn't it? Big time. So
do you think will the Herald still be in a go another 5 years?
I don't care. I wouldn't like to pass a comment on that because I've got no idea. I've no idea their sales or how many copies they sell a week and how far afield it goes. I can't answer that. So
and obviously the Fraserburgh Herald place, it's situated down the Broadgate. How do you find the Broadgate just now? Anyway?
The Broadgate, to me, I think they made a complete mess of it. They made it into one way. If there's delivery vehicles down there, a bus can't get past, a car can't get past. And the Broadgate was a broad gate at one time. It was a big wide open, wide open space. Yep. And then they went and put it into one way. And as far as I'm concerned, they've screwed things up and made it even more difficult for people who may have shops down there, for folk to get access to their shops. By doing what they've done, because it was a big, like I said before, keep repeating, it was a broad gate.
And now it's kind of been. Well, is it looking run down, do you think?
I think it is a bit run down looking. It's near the same.
What's the reason for that? Do you think is it to do with the shops being getting charged too much, or is it?
I think it is that maybe they can't compete with the supermarkets, but I'm not a financier with that, so I really can't say any more than that.
So, like, when you going down to Broadgate, is there any places you'll visit apart from the pub? Or any other place apart from going to like a pub?
Really, no. I can do the bank sometimes and stuff like that. I was doing the other day, the Bank of Scotland, for example. And no, not really. I didn't go anywhere else doing there at all. Nowhere else at all. It's I've been doing there on a Saturday afternoon and found the place just more or less empty. Which is a shame.
It is a shame.
It is a shame. Because there's folks all got shops there and they're trying to make a living out of it and sell their goods, you can.
And the other thing I was going to mention now, Mervyn, now, going back to you, let's speak about religion. You briefly mentioned to me just by chance that your mum used to put you to Sunday school, am I right?
That's right. Well, most kids in my day went to Sunday school. That was just normal.
Far?
Well, only church or only church hall. There was kids going to Sunday school because that was a common thing. But as far as I'm led to believe now, the folk are not gone the same. That's what they were long ago.
And is that because, like, we're going back to technology again? I'll be Netflix and TVs and Sky TV, and I'm not just saying that, but there's a lot of activities outdoors going on.
Yes, that's right.
Do you think back in the day was a church more taking folk in a bigger capacity?
I think that more folk went to the I got the feeling anyway when I was younger, and more folk participated in going to church and stuff like that than there is maybe now. So I don't ken if it's happening now, but I can only ken by what I hear that a lot of the church numbers are down for people going to worship in the church again. And
how did you find it when you went there anyway?
How did I find it?
Did you enjoy it when you went?
No.
Why?
Well, I found it was boring. It wasn't an exciting way to put religion forward to me at all. And only way at all, I just waited to get so I could suck a sweetie and get out of there again.
Was there no singing going on? Was that no inspiring you?
No, not at all. No, at all. It wasn't. It was maybe the right word to use, and I'm careful for what I'm saying. Was maybe it was all fashioned, and people want to move on for there and be more up to date with things. But I may be wrong saying that. And that's the impression I got of fit I hear nowadays.
But your mum was a churchgoer?
My mum was a churchgoer and my father was a churchgoer. And I was christened in a church when I was a bairn, but I didn't say that obviously because I was only a few months old. So I probably just balked my head off.
So, like, you would never, it's not something you'd ever think about going to one of the churches again?
No. I respect it, but I wouldn't have much interest in going to one. And there's a lot of churches in the Bro. I mean, there's the South Church was built in 1843. There's the West Church was built in 1876. And then further down the road you've got which is nothing to do with the church, but the Thomas Walker Hospital is 1877. And
Thomas Walker, that's in Charlotte Street, isn't it?
that's in
Aye,
Charlotte
okay.
Street. That was a hospital in there, and there's the Episcopal Church which is next door to it. There's no date on that, but I believe it was built in the late 1800s again, and again just before the 1900s. And the Baptist was the same, which is further down the road again. So there's a lot of churches, and as far as I'm aware, I was speaking to somebody today, a lady that is a churchgoer, and she said that the numbers have dwindled drastically again, and been closed, of course, with the
lockdown
and the coronavirus. So just the way it is.
Aye, which is a reflection of how life's changing with folk and that.
Of course it does, aye.
A lot of folk maybe more aware to get outdoors nowadays and getting to the same places that they was going.
That's right.
Now we're into September, Mervyn.
Yes.
And how are you feeling about the rest of the year coming up? Are you feeling anxiety, or are you happy just now?
No, I'm not happy. It's just us carry on with this coronavirus. And you can't go anywhere again. It's restricting your movements a lot.
Aye.
If you want to go abroad, for example, you can't go.
Which is something you was planned in earlier on the year.
I was planning earlier on the year. That's right.
Aye.
But it hasn't happened. And then the migratory birds that come here. We're speaking about birds earlier on. Back on the birds.
Aye.
Around about the 24th, the geese will be coming down for Iceland and Greenland. Took some 17 hours to fly down here. And
wow.
there's the most common names are the grey lag and the pinkfoot goose. And
do they all look similar?
They all look similar. When you see them
different sizes.
It's different. When you see them in a field, it's different. It's difficult to differentiate between what bird is what, because they're so wary of humans that if you can go anywhere near them, they'll just take off. And then later on, in the year, you'll get the Hooper swans coming down from Siberia on their migration route to England.
Now, what's the difference with the Hooper swans? Why are they called Hoopers?
Hoopers, I've got no idea why they're called Hoopers, but they're huge birds, they're great big birds, that standing up a height, and a lot of them fly across the North Sea and the land and ground just around here in this area, but in the country away from humans. Because I've seen heaps of them over the years. I was out with all Norman looking at them in awe one year, and we could see heaps and heaps and heaps of them. They were all but they're landed rest on their way in their migration south,
So see, you're on about the migration and stuff.
Right.
Can you get in view us? Do you view us when it happens now, or did you used to in the past?
No, I can't really view it unless you get something on an internet or a TV or something. Somebody speaking about birds.
But like the Loch of Strathbeg.
Loch of Strathbeg is a famous place out there. I've been out there a lot of times over the years, and there's a lot of migratory birds come down there and land there, and you'll hear the geese coming over at night in the next month. Honk, 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 and they come across again, and they're guiding themselves over, and they came for a look where the Loch of Strathbeg is. And that's in the dark.
Far have they came for?
They've came, like I already said a few minutes ago, they've come down for places like Iceland and Greenland. Either way doing. And they will non-stop.
So they fly non-stop. It's unbelievable. It's quite.
It is quite unbelievable.
There's so much different kind of birds and that.
Oh, there is. There's so many different kinds of birds flying in different directions. But most of as I say, the ones that got here to the areas of Greenland and Iceland come down here to spend the winter because they get more food down here in the fields picking out the barley, the seeds out the barley and stuff like that. It's already been cut, and they're often out in the fields like that.
So, but I know you like farmers, probably with it.
And but they've already cut their crops, so it shouldn't really annoy them. But the geese still come down, and people go out and shoot them again. And I didn't like that because I think if I be a little bird that's flowing all that way, he deserves a wee whale in the ground.
That's what I say. So that's a bit like us going a flight away across for 12, 14, 15 hours.
That's right.
And then somebody shot you when you get off.
Shot you when you get off it.
No, it's not a fair.
No, it's never a fair. No, it's never. But that's just the way life is, I'm afraid.
Aye.
And thankfully there's plenty of them, Ken.
Aye.
So they're like a Pinkfoot and a Grey Log. Their numbers I didn't think I'll ever can do, because there's tens of thousands of them.
So going back to the seagulls, Mervyn.
Yes.
Do you personally think, are they a good thing for around this area, or are they a bad thing?
They're a thing that they pollute places. They're mess them up all way, and I think it's disgusting as far as I'm concerned.
I kind of like them. I feel like they add to scenery around here coastal
Well,
areas.
they probably do to a certain extent, but the overall picture I get of them is that there's too many of them, and they're just a menace, and they're protected species. And if you kill them, you can be in trouble with the law.
Aye.
You can, which is really not a good idea, is it?
Well, definitely me, like so.
No.
Now, anyway, it's your 5th appearance on a Sticky Trifle podcast.
I believe it is, aye.
And I'm wanting to say that I'm so glad that I got you back on for the first thing, which was doing the Remembrance Garden. You've kind of made the Sticky Trifle podcast interesting. You've got a lot of history and knowledge of this dates, Mervyn.
Yes.
And there's not a lot of folk can sprout off what you've been doing. And I'm so grateful that you've been on it. And we don't care if it's going to happen in the future, because your plans is kind of changing now.
Well,
maybe as we
it could change.
So.
It depends what happens with the government and everything, and we access the different countries. I don't care, so I can't tell you.
Aye, but we're coming into autumn anyway, and
that's right. We're heading for that. That's right.
I think Abdi's going to start probably spending slightly more time indoors as the next month or two comes on.
That's right, Herald.
And the next thing we can, the clocks will be going back in a few months.
Well, this coming next month is the around about the 24th of the month.
Aye.
In September is the Equinox, which means eque is Latin for equal, and nox is night or day. I can't really mind. I think it's night. And it's called the Equinox because you've got equal daylight, equal darkness. Now, from there on to the 21st of December is the to the 21st of December solstice, the winter solstice. You get more darkness than you do lightness. So at present we're still got daylight.
Aye.
And nothing's fine. But as it gets into September, it'll get to the stage of narrowing itself down to equal daylight and equal darkness, and then there'll be more darkness than daylight.
So for do you prefer? Do you like the
I like
summer,
the summertime,
or do you like the winter better?
No, I like the summertime.
Why? Because you more to do.
Well, it's fine and pleasant, Ken. And
I like the summer.
There's a bird over there. Look, see it?
I see it.
That's a wagtail.
It's like a
wagtail, and you can see why it's a wagtail, can't you?
Tail's always.
He's always wagging his tail.
It's a bit kind of see us, but so it's a wagtail.
It's a wagtail.
I cannot for new one.
Oh, it's a wagtail. Right.
And they're quite common around here.
Oh, there's heaps of them. They're common birdie.
All right, now speaking about birds.
Yes.
I like birds and all, Mervyn. But it's maybe not the same type of birds that you like.
You're not speaking about featherlings, are you? No, I just can't out why you're smiling.
I'm joking. So anyway, we're here at the beach anyway.
Aye.
And I'll tell you before we go anyway. Sticky Trifle Podcast, the very first thing started here with me and Malone, and it's a pleasure to hear you here the same spot.
Aye.
And we're 26 podcasts and plus counting and end.
That's right. That's
so
good.
Here you and here for the first thing started off in March.
Well, I'm fine pleased you've had plenty of different people on to do the podcast, because it's I find things like that is good for the community, and it's very interesting for a lot of people.
You've been good when you've been on. A lot of folk bump into us going, oh, I see that boy Mervyn, he's got a photograph. How does he mind his dates? He's got a photographic memory. And I can't explain it. I just going, well, I can. How can he just kens the dates?
I just can't explain it either. And,
you're a bit like Stephen Hawking, but you can walk.
Oh, near like him. Oh no, he was an absolute genius. He's professor. I'll never be at that level, I can tell you.
Right, anyway, I'm going to say cheers to you for being back for it started.
Cheers to you as well, Errol.
Thank you very much.
No bother at all.
Enjoy the rest of your beer. And we'll see you next week on
Sticky Trifle Podcast.
Sticky Trifle Podcast will return next week.
And thank you once again to the incredible mind of Mervyn Rose, and how does he ken all that facts and dates? It's unreal. How does he do it? I think Mervyn's got a book. He must have a book that he keeps reading and he swats up in before he meets me. Must have. Anyway, safe to say that summer is now coming to an end, but also, as they say, all good things come to an end. In just the last week or two, I found myself actually thinking, what has this journey been about for me? And you can fit. Maybe I'll explain that next week. See you next week, as it's time to say farewell. Bye.